evening, action from the weekend's SWPL 1 to come, including a significant fixture at the top. Yes, all that to come, and in the company tonight of former Scotland goalkeeper Gemma Fay. So it's been 8 wins out of 8 for Glasgow City and Celtic so far in the league. That means something would have to give at Petershill.
Well, these are the games where the SWPL title is won and lost. City were unbeaten in the league against Celtic last season. Davidson and Chinchilla carry plenty of threat in the wide areas. Celtic did beat City in both cup finals though last term. They're without the suspended Jacinta this afternoon. They're tight, cagey games when two of the top three come together, usually settled by a goal or two. That could land at the feet of Gallagher, who's clattered into by Muir. Celtic cry for a penalty. Fran Alonso appeals as well. It looked like Muir took ball and Gallagher. Celtic without one of their star forwards this afternoon. Clark nods that one goalwards. Gibson claws it off the line. At full stretch, the Scotland goalkeeper keeps her side on level terms. It's well taken by Chinchilla, who has Lauder on the overlap. Inches away from Whelan's feet, and Davidson at the back post. Couldn't put it into the back of the net. There's Chinchilla. Hayes backtracking. Curling effort! Sensationally tipped onto the post by Celtic's keeper Tanahart. Ashworth Clifford now stretches her legs down the left. That should be easy for Jenna Clark to sort out, but she's taken her eye off the ball here. Maybe Celtic can go up the other end and make City pay. Oh, they so nearly do. From one end to the other in a flash. And Shen has her head in her hands. And at the other end, Celtic have their keeper to thank. Shen going the wrong way and dispossessed by Chinchilla. Whelan's looking to latch on. The referee simply had no option. Wiped out by Pamela Tanahart. And City will have a golden opportunity to take the lead. And it's their top scorer, Lauren Davidson, who adds another to her tally. And an all-important one in the score. It could be so decisive, even in this early stage of the campaign. Menglu, Celtic substitute, strong enough to get away from Davidson. Greening sucked in. Menglu's cross! All the way through! Gibson and Walsh in a mess. Celtic have parity. It doesn't matter how it crosses the line. A fair helping hand from City's last line of defence. Larissy's through to turn the game. 99 times out of 100, Clarissa Larissy puts Celtic 2-1 up. She may lie awake this evening replaying that. A goal now, surely wins it. City looking to make it happen. Muir gets away from Lauder. Davidson might have the angle. Back to Lauder! They've won it! City looking to find their way back to their throne. And what a crucial goal it could be from their captain, Hayley Lauder. Lasered into the bottom corner. That'll be the match winner. It has to be. Can Celtic forage one last chance in stoppage time? They might, you know. Larissy. Gibson atones for her earlier error. It's just not been Larissy's day. Celtic have almost no time at all. In fact, City might have just enough to settle it. Tanahar saves. Chinchilla was through. And that really should be that now for the former champions looking to reclaim their crown.
Gemma, that was a big game, and it was a thoroughly entertaining game too, wasn't it?
It was. It was one you couldn't take your eyes off. We've been waiting a wee while now for one of those top 3 fixtures, and it didn't disappoint us at all.
A couple of early penalty shouts for both teams early on. Talk us through them.
Yeah, so first one for Celtic. I think Amy Muir gets herself a little bit tangled, and she wins the ball initially, but then follow through, and Gallagher comes through it. So I think that could have been a penalty. That said, I think that it was more than made up for from the fact that Jenna Clark got, I would say, rugby tackled in the Celtic box at the end of that half. So I think those 2 decisions probably cancelled each other out.
And there was a penalty for the opening goal. Was it a penalty?
I mean, as a goalkeeper, yeah, it was, absolutely. It's a shame because she's had a great game up until that point. But just a bit of a rush of her blood to the head and a rash challenge. And it's not a challenge that needed to be made. I don't think Whelan's going anywhere. So City come out with a penalty, and yeah, penalty for me.
And Lauren Davison steps up. That's her 8th goal of the league so far this season.
Yeah, she's on fire, and she keeps growing into that role. She's been included in a couple of Scotland camps as well, which can only help with her confidence. But, you know, Camley slotted that penalty away. And at that point, Glasgow City started to take the sting out of the game a little bit. It had been a frantic first half. It had been end to end. If you don't support Celtic and you don't support Glasgow City, it was a great game to watch. If you supported either the 2 of them, I think your heart was in your mouth at points. And then you thought, you know, that Glasgow City would just manage the game out. There's still quite a long to go, but they were taking the pace out of the game. But that wasn't to be. It was a grandstand finish. Yeah,
because Celtic get the equaliser.
They do. I'm not sure that Celtic got the equaliser so much as I think Glasgow City could have done a lot better in many phases up until that. I think that Lauren Davidson should just continue to track back instead of trying to dive in. Greening gets it wrong on the left-hand side, and then the ball comes into the box, and there's confusion there between Gibson and Walsh. For me, I think Gibson could come and take it, but if she's deciding not to because she sees Walsh in front of her, if Walsh doesn't hear a shout from the goalkeeper, then you have to clear that away. I think perhaps her feet position were in the wrong way, so she was facing the goal rather than facing away, so she can't step onto it. I think by the time the ball's coming in, she's thinking, if this touches me, it could go in. And what ends up is it goes in because there's indecision on both sides there. So, yeah, it sets up an opportunity for Celtic, and Celtic could have gone on to, you know, Larissy had a chance there, and that for me is a big, big miss. She's through on goal. Once again, a long ball, which Glasgow City struggled with sometimes from Celtic today. Walsh mistimes it, and Larissy should score.
Yeah, and she goes on to rue that miss because Glasgow City and Hayley Lauder, who had a really good game and has a really good season, actually, she grabs a winner in the 90th minute. Yeah, no, I think she's been there's a reason why she's captain for Glasgow City. She's been the most influential, consistent player, I think, for Glasgow City this season. And in terms of set pieces, she's critical for them. But once again, it's that slight switch off. The ball goes out for Glasgow City. A quick throw takes out 3 Celtic players, and then they're on the back foot. And you think the chance is gone because it's been blocked for Davison, but Hayley Lauder steps up calmly, and that sweet left foot just slots it in. And that's something that Glasgow City didn't do last year, is they didn't manage to see games out or get them to the end point. And that for me is a big step. They're now still in touch with Rangers at the top. It's just goal difference. But a massive win for Eileen Gleeson. And as a former goalkeeper yourself, you would have enjoyed watching some of the goalkeeping in action?
Yes, so as much as we talked about the questionable decisions on just 2 areas of the game, I think that Lee Gibson and Pamela Traore have had excellent games. I mean, some outstanding saves in there. First half and second half. And I think it was, on the whole, a really, really good display of goalkeeping.
Well, Rangers have also won all their league games so far this season. They were up against a Dundee United side who'd lost their last 2 league games.
Good afternoon and welcome along to Broadwood Stadium for today's SWPL 1 clash between Rangers and Dundee United. Malky Thompson makes 5 changes to the side that defeated Spartans 2-0 in the midweek. Maddie Nolf, Kirsty McLean, Jodie McCleary, Kirsty Howitt and Colette Kavanagh are in from the off. Colette Kavanagh making her first start of the league season. Just the 2 changes for Graham Hart from the side that, as we said, were defeated 4-0 by Celtic last time. Tammy Harkin and Robin Smith are in. Jodie Malcolm and Claire Delworth drop out. United do clear. And as far as Sam Kerr, on to our compatriot Nicola Docherty, who seeks out Colette Kavanagh. It's a nice first touch, manages to keep it alive, and it is an early goal for Rangers. Colette Kavanagh on her first league start for the club has the hosts ahead inside 2 minutes of play. It's a seeking ball from Nicola Docherty. It's a nice first touch from Kavanagh. Right, Nicola managing to fool everyone there and opt to go down the right. Rangers come away with it, however, and here is Maddie Nolf picking out the run off Kayla McCoy. It's a fantastically timed run. She's rounded Fiona McNichol, and that's number 2 for Rangers inside 6 minutes. It's all so easy for the champions. Notching up her 7th goal of the league season. Long throw into the mix, Jodie McCleary. Is it a handball? Loud calls for Dundee United, but the referee remains unmoved. As Rangers come away through Nicola Docherty, we'll have another little look at that in a second. But it was a real budding chance for United. Ciara Bonner underneath that. Chip ball in for Kayla McCoy, lets it run. Fiona McNichol makes the initial save, still in the possession of McCoy. Back to Nolf, cuts inside, left-footed effort, and that'll just drift away. McCoy will be gutted there, Pauline, that she's not made it 2 for herself and 3 for Rangers.
Yeah, she will, but I think, for me, Fiona McNichol does fantastic there to get a little touch on it and taking it obviously away from Kayla McCoy, which forces her into a much more difficult position.
There's another ball drilled right in to the mix, and it looks like a second goal for Colette Kavanagh and a 3rd for Rangers. Whipped in here, Kavanagh just peels away at the back. Here is Nolf. Biding their time, slipping ball through for Sam Kerr. An effort, just skying high. Again, lovely build-up play. Hannah Davison in on the act now as well. McLean asks for Kayla McCoy to chase. She does manage to get on the end of that. McCoy opting to use the support of Maddie Nolf, so lively in the first half, drilling down to the byline. Cuts back for McLean. Dancing her way through, Kirsty McLean creating magnificent space for herself, gets the ball across, and it's a 4th for Rangers. What an introduction for Rachel McLaughlin. Right place, right time at the back post. She's only been on the park less than 2 minutes.
Kirsty dances her way through and puts a great delivery in with her non-preferred foot, and all credit to Rachel getting on the end of it there, and like you say, a fantastic introduction for her to the game.
Maddie Nolf is over this corner right now. The near post. There will be another cleared away by Tammy Harkin with a skewed effort. She goes again, Nolf, looking for a better delivery than her last. Gets by the first player, it's into the mix, and it's rifled into the back of the net. And it is Rangers 5, Dundee United 0, and Lisa Martinez now getting in on the act. It's a thunderous strike from the centre half.
Just fail to make that first contact, don't they? And then with that, obviously, just absolutely ruthless in a strike there. Fantastic strike by the centre back.
I'm over the moon with it, you know, to think where we've came from in the programme to where we are just now. You know, solid performances, you've said. And I think as well the mix of young players and youth players that we've got in amongst some of those experienced players is really paying dividends for the club and for the moment in the night.
I think games like today, they're not going to define our season. We want to do better, we want to compete better. I think losing early goals again against Celtic, we've done it, but I think on the whole we've done ourselves proud in a way, but again we want to do a lot better than we did. But these games are just games that you want to go and sort of show yourself and do well, but obviously the games coming up are the games we need to pick up points in.
Gemma, that was just a case of Rangers just being too strong?
Yeah, absolutely. We have to give a shout out to Colette Kavanagh. She came in from Hibernian and has struggled a bit with injury, but first start, and I'm going to give her the first goal because it wasn't an OG, it was going in anyway. So it's
she did all the hard work.
She did all the hard work, and to get a second as well. So well done to her, because that can't have been easy. But you just look across that Rangers team, the rotation they can do, and even when they bring on players like Rachel McLaughlin, who comes on and what a goal she scores as well, they just are exuding confidence across the pitch.
Yeah, when someone like Colette comes in, she doesn't get the starts because she's got injury. To force her way into the team, it's not going to be easy, but to score 2 goals doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Well, what Rangers have is competition, and when you have competition within your team, you push each other on to the next level. So she's come in now, she's scored 2 goals, she's played quite well, so that will then raise the level of everyone else around you, and that's what you want in a team, and that's what Rangers want, because there's no doubt in my mind that they would love to just continue going forward this season and probably try and do the season unbeaten. That's probably the standard that they set themselves. And they do have the quality of players that could potentially do that if they come up against Celtic and Glasgow City when they're having off days.
Yeah, and talking about quality of players, the quality of the team and squad doesn't diminish when they throw on younger players. That mix is there, and it's clear to see.
Well, that's what comes with a squad. When you've got depth within your squad, you have the ability to give these younger players the opportunity to come in and experience that. But these younger players have to work to experience that, which is slightly different. And there's no doubt in my mind that those younger players are on there through merit, not just to give them a chance, not just to blood them, but they have proven they have the ability, and we've seen it already this season, to play at that level.
Well, time for some more action now, and Hearts so far have won all their home league matches this season. Would that continue against Motherwell?
After a weekend off, it's just one change for 4th placed Hearts. Emma Brownlee in for Shona Cowan. Motherwell lost 5-0 to Rangers in the Cup last weekend. They make 2 changes, Leanne Crichton and Laurie Gardner coming in. Not too many clear-cut chances in the opening 10 minutes. Well, Smith takes the ball off the defender. McAllister, first-time shot! And what a shot it is! Rebecca McAllister finding the top corner. What an effort! What a strike to give Hearts the lead. Crichton. It's McDonald and Gua with the header. Just over the bar. Brownlee works it out wide to Jenny Smith. Long floating cross in. Sampson with the header. She clatters the goalkeeper. Emma Brownlee puts it in, but the whistle had already gone. That's Miki. Good determination to find McAllister. Timms on the turn. Away from the defender. Bearing down on goal, Georgia Timms. Good save from Emily Much. Sampson, good composure. It's Miki to Timms. That's an identical ball through. What will she do this time? She tries to square, and Ingalls puts behind. McAllister chips in. There's Brownlee with the header off the top of the bar. Evo Leeds will be wondering how Hearts aren't further ahead. Good touch from Miki. And a great ball as well. Georgia Timms bearing down on goal. She puts it wide. Doran Barr floats in. Comes all the way through to Gardner. She pulls it back. Ingalls with the shot. Parker Smith with the save. Creighton back into the starting 11. Well, she's just done too much there. Grant with the ball through. Lovely turn from McAllister. Can she make it two? Much makes the save. So close to a second for McAllister. Ball bouncing around. It comes to Timms. Deflected off the post. Well, she could have had a hat-trick, Georgia Timms. Grant over the top to Timms. She knees that on to Emma Brownlee. Plenty of time to consider her options. Crosses to the back post. Smith arriving. Timms puts it in. But the offside flag denies her this time. Still no goal for Georgia Timms. Rice picks up. And drives at goal before squaring. There's Hughes. Parker Smith will gather at the second attempt. Motherwell, a late flurry looking for an equaliser. It's McDonald and Gua. She finds Ingalls. All the way back to Doran Barr. Oh, off the post! And McDonald and Gua can't get there.
I'm happy with the 3 points, but not with the performance of my team. I think that we didn't play our game. It was difficult in the second half, play a possession game, and I'm not fully happy today.
Made it difficult for ourselves, our first half performance. Was not at the level that the players had set, especially this week in training where they were magnificent. We asked for a response at half time, we certainly got that second half, and I think on reflection probably deserves some out of the game.
Well, the Hearts manager maybe not overly happy, but it's another win and another win at home.
Yeah, I think it's going to take the perfect match for her ever to be happy. I think she's got exacting standards, but that's what you want. You want a coach who wants the best week in, week out. But certainly Hearts are continuing on this fantastic run of form. They've got sitting fourth in the league, and some of the football they played today was really nice. And you know what? 1-0, I think they could have come out of that game with some more. Yeah, they absolutely could. It did only stay 1-0, but it was some finish from Rebecca McAllister, wasn't it? It was. I actually think it was poor defending from Motherwell that gave her that opportunity, but you can't take anything away. It was an instinctive finish and just the technique and the way that the ball just kind of dipped and floated into the net was fantastic to see. Georgia Timms really unlucky today because she started the season so well, but I mean she could have had a hat-trick today, couldn't she? I think she could have had 4, or maybe even 5, but no, she did. She came in flying. It was a player that hadn't ever played in the Scottish League, part of this rebuilding phase that Hearts did through the close season, and I think they've done it particularly well. But she's just struggled a little bit in the last few games in terms of finding the back of the net. But that's not for want of trying, because she was everywhere today. It was some good saves by Much. Let's not forget to give credit to the Motherwell goalkeeper in those instances. But I think if she continues to get herself in those positions, and as long as she stays calm and relaxed, I think she'll be hitting the back of the net again soon. In saying that, Motherwell could have snatched it right at the death. They could, and this is one of the reasons probably that Hearts manager Eva wasn't so happy, is that could have been the case. They could have got a draw because they had a chance right at the death, as you say. Doran Barr hitting the bar and just not managing to follow up on that one. But that's the clinicalness that I think is the next step for Hearts. So let's not forget where they were last season to where they are now. It's a significant change. But if you want to be able to compete with those, I call them the top 3 because I think they are right now, you need to be clinical, and they probably got away with that just at the end there. Well, Spartans were back in league action after their big cup win last weekend. They faced a Hamilton side who'd lost their last 5 league games.
Spartans make 7 changes from the side that lost 2-0 to Rangers in midweek. Hamilton haven't played since a 6-0 loss to Glasgow City 2 weeks ago. They make 3 changes for this one. It's McMahon with the throw-in. Catsmart turns away, tries a shot from distance, but it's well over the bar, and it won't trouble Chloe Nicholson. Spartans on the attack, and it looks there like Galbraith was tripped there by Ailey Martin. It's Cleland with a free kick floated in, and it's all the way in! Cleland with a superb effort from the edge of the pitch. Was it a cross? Was it a shot? Only she will know. It's floated deep into the box, and it's over everybody, including Chloe Nicholson. Spartans ahead. Comes now to Sinclair, driving into the box. Sinclair cuts it back. There's bodies on the deck here, and there's a penalty. The referee, Rhys Struthers, points to the spot. Sinclair creates the chance, driving into the box. Ball comes to Guillard's feet, and she seems to trip. And it's Galbraith straight down the middle, and Hamilton are level. Questions maybe about the penalty, but no questions about Galbraith's conviction from the spot. Straight down the middle. Spartans have it. Smart lifts it into the box. Here's Galbraith. It's Becky Galbraith, and it's a brilliant save from Chloe Nicholson. Long ball from Hamilton, but Ross will deal with this. That's short though, and she's left her goalkeeper in a world of trouble. Here's Guillard, takes a touch, Ren Ross, and in! And Hamilton have taken the lead. They've come from behind to lead at Ainsley Park. Horrible mistake from Ross just to give the chance to Guillard, who, in fairness, does really well to keep composed and slot it home. It's a long ball up from the defence, and it comes to McQuillan here on the edge of the box. Takes a touch, cuts inside. It's McQuillan with a shot, and it's straight at Nicholson. Long ball from the Hamilton defence, and McMahon doesn't get there. It's now Guillard. Guillard driving in, turns away, takes a shot, and it's a brilliant save from Alicia Yates down low to her right-hand side. Spartans corner. Deep into the box, Galbraith's there, and it's off the bar. Although it will be a corner. Great block from Coakley there. Sinclair clears it. McMahon doesn't really deal with it though, and it falls here to Guillard. McMahon stands against her though. It's Guillard. Tries a shot, and it's off the bar. So close from Guillard. McMahon. Last chance saloon for Spartans here. But it's cleared away by Hamilton. Is that enough? Yes, it is. The referee brings this one to a close, and a valuable 3 points for Hamilton Accies.
I thought we thoroughly deserved to win the game. I think from the early in this game we were on the front foot, really causing Spartans problems and stifling them. To come back, turn it around, they show real good mental strength in that second half, and yeah, they thoroughly deserved it.
I think again, you know, we didn't keep the game on the front foot after we scored, and it was disappointing in the way that we conceded a penalty, especially when the Hamilton player told the referee that she slipped and he's got an opportunity to reverse the decision. It doesn't happen, so it goes against us. But you know, today we weren't good enough across the entire pitch, so we got what we deserved, unfortunately.
Well, that was really interesting, wasn't it, from Guillard there? Straight up to the referee, saying it shouldn't be a penalty. I slipped.
Yes, and initially I thought, was that because she felt maybe a little bit embarrassed, but actually when I saw her teammates come over to try and pull her away, and she's like, no, I slipped, it's not a penalty. Yeah, it was a bit crazy, but the referee was not for turning. It was a penalty to Hamilton, and it was dispatched pretty well as well.
Yeah, it was good honesty, wasn't it? And her all-round play this weekend, I mean, she's a handful, isn't she? She is their attacking threat all in one. And she was relentless today in terms of not allowing the Spartan defenders any time, really pushing on and threatening. And we see that in the winning goal where she pushes on, she presses Yates, and she does exceptionally well with her finish to secure the win. And we heard from the Spartans manager, Debbie McCulloch. Obviously, they had a massive win in the Cup, knocking out the holders, Celtic. But today in the league wasn't good enough.
No, and she readily admitted that, and I think throughout the match they were just off it a little bit, just off it all across the park. I'm not entirely sure they recovered from that penalty decision. You know, that they had got themselves ahead with a free kick, which is a wicked free kick actually. Not sure it was meant to go straight in, but you're supposed to put them on target, and Cleland did. And I just think that probably knocked the wind out their sails.
Well, only 2 points separated Hibernian and Partick Thistle. They met in the capital.
Fourth meets fifth this afternoon at Meadowbank. Partick can go a point above their East Coast hosts with a win. Top scorer Ailey Adams is on the bench for Hibs this afternoon. Thistle are looking for their third league win on the bounce after winning none of their first 5. There's no Cara Henderson for them today. That's a blow. Hibs haven't won back-to-back games in the league this season. They'll have a tricky task getting past what seems to be a rejuvenated Partick Thistle this afternoon. And a heart and mouths moment for the Hibs bench there as Leah Eddy nods that one behind for a corner. Notley for Thomas. She sends Parry a little wide. Hibs forced to recycle. Lorry down to McGregor. Well claimed by Megan Cunningham. Straight down her throat, but safe hands. Partick have played a game less than Hibs as well. Only 8 compared to their hosts' 9. They conceded 8 fewer goals. As Janu looks to put Hibs on the score sheets. No room at the near post. Into the thick of it goes the corner. Thistle scrambling to clear. Hibs will come again. Lob back in. Hunter eventually tries her luck, and there's no danger for Thistle. Nor takes over in midfield. McAloney, former Hearts player. That'll break for Thomas. She's got the agility. Chance here for Hibs. No takers in the 6-yard area. McAloney, talented young midfielder. Hibs go long now. Notley into the path of Freda. Digs one out. Not a bad effort from the attacker. Hibs are doing all the attacking. Adams off the bench to collect that. McGregor from distance. Pure strike. But still Cunningham can't be beaten. Adams. McGregor on the overlap. Cross comes in. Hibs scream penalty. Given. Thistle furious, perplexed. It's Cheryl McCulloch judged to have been in the way of the cross. And can Hibs top scorer do the business? No. Rebound is in. What's going on here? The referee is saying Megan Cunningham may not have tipped that or touched the ball after it hit the post. Well, this all hinges on whether Megan Cunningham got a touch on the ball. The referee says no.
Yeah, I thought it was a penalty in the first instant to give it. Whether the decision's right or wrong, I'm not sure. I thought the Partick goalkeeper saved it, but listen, they're closer than I am, so I need to see it back before I make any proper comment on the actual decision. But I thought the new rules, if it comes off her body and her arm, then it's not a penalty kick, so maybe I don't even know what the rules are anymore, because obviously they're giving the penalty, and then to take that length of time to decide whether anyone's touched it before the girl who's hit the post and then
follows up with the goal that they score, but I don't think it should have taken that length of time.
Well, lots of confusion all round, all concerning the penalty. First of all, was it a penalty? And then obviously we'll get to when they take it.
We haven't had any penalty drama this weekend.
We're making up for it.
I can't decide whether it was or wasn't. If it was, I think it's really, really harsh. I've looked at it several times. The ball's coming in, it's bouncing. Cheryl McCulloch is turning and jumping at the same time, and you saw me do this. I was practicing. Like, how do you do that without your arm being there? Arm's not going towards the ball; it's away from the ball because she's moving.
And it looks like she is trying to move it away from the ball.
Yeah, and the ball is also bouncing at the same time, and I'm not entirely sure that it changed any sort of trajectory it was going on. But nevertheless, we got ourselves a penalty. And then that's when the fun and games really started. Because I mean...
Well, talk us through it. Ailey Adams steps up to take the penalty, comes back off the post, or does it? Does the goalkeeper get a touch to it? And that's where the confusion kind of comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then you should send answers into the sports scene, because we still don't know. The person that knows, I think, is the referee, because he's the one that can see it. And I've tried to look past, like, 3 bodies on TV. My only thought on this is... Ailey Adams has taken it with the inside of her right foot. Usually when you take it, it curls a bit. So when it comes back off the post, it kind of comes back more towards you. And I'm really pushing this and stretching this. It looks kind of like she has to stretch a bit for the rebound to the right, which makes me then think, has it taken a nick off Megan Cunningham in the goal? Now, Megan's one of the most honest people you've ever met, so she's saying it didn't. It didn't. I don't know, really confusing, but, you know, exciting to try and figure that one out. But anyway, I think that well done to Partick Thistle for getting a point at that, because I do think that Hibs probably had managed to deserve enough to get the win there.
Yeah, and it's fair to say the Hibs players weren't overly happy at the end, which I guess you can understand.
No, they weren't. There wasn't many smiley faces there.
Well, both Aberdeen and Glasgow women, it's fair to say, have found life rather tough this season in the league. How would they fare when they met each other at Pittodrie?
It's a historic day for Aberdeen women playing at Pittodrie. It's 8 without a win in the SWPL for both sides coming into this one. Glasgow women, bottom of the table, yet to pick up a point. The Dons sit 11th thanks to a draw against Partick Thistle earlier in the season. Francesca Olgovi standing over it. Floats the ball in to the middle of the box. It's been headed in. A goal for Aberdeen, and it's the women's side's first ever goal at Pittodrie, and look what it means to them. Ball floated in from Olgovi, and it's Hansen that heads it home. Olgovi once more with a corner. It's deep in again, it's cleared off the line. It's Hansen again, and it's off the post. And it's cleared away eventually by Glasgow women. So close from Hansen. Chance here, Campbell feeds it into the box, but safely in the arms of the goalkeeper now. What a chance for Aberdeen to go 2-0 up there. The Dons building out from the back. And now to Hutchison. She's left it for Collins, bouncing around in the middle of the park. Collins tries it from distance, and it's a super save from Shannon Bergen. Corner swung in, and it's headed in again. And the Dons have gone 2-0 up, and it's Jess Broderick with a headed goal. Great delivery from the corner from Chloe Govert. And Broderick just stoops down to head it home. Glasgow women's attack cut out here by Lauren Campbell. She drives towards the box. Still going, Lauren Campbell. Cuts inside onto the left foot. Drives it across, it's Govert! But she can't get enough on it. Danger still there. Glasgow clear. Aberdeen on the attack again. It's Christie, she feeds it through to Hutchison, but that's really strong play there from the defender. Hutchison's still got the ball though. She cuts it across, it's Christie, but she can't get anything on it to steer it goalwards. It's Ogilvie. Plays it to Hutchison. Hutchison takes command again. It's worked its way through to the box. It's Eva Thompson, it's 3-0. Or is it? No, it's not. The referee, Duncan Nicholson, rules it out for offside. Great finish from Eva Thompson. Ball deep into the box, it's Christie. Hutchison can't get anything on it. It's Christie, it comes off Hutchison's back. And Hutchison was in an offside position when she tried the shot. Good save from Bergen, nonetheless. Ball up deep into the box. It's Camilla, and it's a chance that goes a begging for Hannah Cunningham.
Confidence, obviously, getting the 3 points today is what mattered, and hopefully we can build on that now, because Aberdeen women are a team that should be way higher up the table for us. So it's our job as coaches to work on this and make sure that from now on that we get the performances and the 3 points that we deserve in some of the games that we've played.
Getting stronger every week. The scores are coming down, and we just need to stay focused. We know our jobs. It's a sore one to take the loss today, but we just need to keep moving forward, and we'll get there. You know, it's coming together slowly but surely.
A first win for Aberdeen there. Emma Hunter, their manager, saying they should be higher up the table. Do you agree?
Well, I think based on what they did last year and based on some of their performances this year, they've put in performances. Not sure they've done it for 90 minutes, but they've definitely shown they're capable of being much higher up that table. And I think this is probably that line in the sand moment. They scored 2 goals. They could have scored many more today. But I think you've got the performance and you've got the points, so you can move on and progress from there.
Yeah, they'll be hoping to build upon that momentum. Hansen got the opening goal, and you can see how much it meant to them. Really special for them scoring at Pittodrie.
Yeah, so I've played there myself. I've been fortunate enough to play there. I'm not an Aberdeen fan, but I can imagine if you were and you scored, it would be something special. So, you know, it's really great to see how much it means to the players. And I think that sometimes we forget that it means so much to them.
Yeah, absolutely. The second goal, Bodrick, very similar to the first, actually.
Yeah. Once again, the first one was probably defended slightly better in that she really had to work for that header. The second one, though, was completely unmarked, and that's just something you can't afford to do. You can't afford to switch off in a set piece where you have the ability to organise it. You're not in open play. You're not reacting to something. You can be proactive in that space, and it's probably an area where you need to, especially if you're Glasgow women, you can take control of that and do better.
Yeah, it was a good win for Aberdeen, though. After all that, let's have a look at how the SWPL 1 table looks this weekend. And a change at the top. Rangers now leads the way on goal difference over Glasgow City, who jump up into second over Celtic, who slipped to third. Elsewhere, no change in 4th or 5th place. Partick Thistle jump up a place, while Spartans drop to 7th. Aberdeen move on to 4 points. Glasgow women are still at the bottom. And there's plenty more sporting action for you coming across the BBC. Here's what's to come. There's championship action on Friday. BBC Scotland as Cove Rangers face Queen's Park. And later that night on BBC One Scotland, Sports Scene brings you highlights of the 2 Friday night Premiership games at 11:30. On Sunday, you can catch the semi-final of the League Cup between Spartans and Rangers on BBC Sports Scotland website and iPlayer. Gemma, thank you very much for your insight this evening. More goals coming your way, this time from the men's top flight. From us, though, good night.